Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning miracle call. And we have our precious host, Michelle Niels, standing by, and one of our all-time favorites, that's for sure. And I just wanted to say
Yeah.
before we start the call, and if everybody could make sure you're muted, congratulations to everyone. These last couple of weeks have been spectacular. Thank you, Lifeway, for these wonderful promotions. And thank you, Live Younger community, for all your effort. I know we've got a lot of new members, a lot of new brand partners, new managers, directors. Tonight, we're going to be recognizing one new senior presidential that we know of, one new executive director we know of, and there might be more by the time the evening rolls around. But I just wanted to, from Robin and I, our hearts to yours, congratulate you for all of your efforts. It takes a team, it takes a community, and we love this community. So over to you, Michelle.
Oh, what a great way to start. Oh my goodness. Hallelujah, everybody. So good to see you. We had a wonderful couple weeks and we're not done. We still have Alavita on special until tonight. So good morning, everyone. My name's Michelle Niels, and I will be your host today for our Monday morning miracle call. We call it the MMMC. And as Karen O'Neill likes to say, it sounds like miracles, but it's science. And so we love that we are representing a scientific research and development company. That's a line that Gregory shared quite a while ago. LifeWave is a scientific research and development company that's chosen network marketing as our way of getting our unique products to the market. So that's what I share with people when I introduce them. So on this call this morning, we will be sharing for about 30 minutes our wonderful stories, testimonials, and we can also ask questions about these amazing light therapy patches. And just a couple of housework, homework, I don't know what you call it, the little details that we got to cover every time, especially if you're new. So the button at the bottom of your screen is reaction button. If you click on that, then a raise hand button will come up. So click on the raise hand when you have a question or a testimonial, and I will call on you. And then please leave your hand up while we're speaking so that I can see you on the screen, because otherwise you disappear and there's almost 100 people here, and then I lose you in the crowd. So leave your hand up until we're done. And for the first 15 minutes, we're going to just speak about X39, our stem cell activation patch, and the star of the show, and the one we all start with and continue with forever, right? We're not going to stop using the X39. I mean, we all want to keep getting younger. So that's my plan. I'm sure that's your plan. And then when we share, keep your testimonials to symptoms only. Please don't name any disease states, no disease names, so that we can stay compliant. And so name your symptoms that you had before, the patch or patches you used, and then how you felt after. And I think that's it. If I'm not forgetting anything, if I am, Gregory, let me know. I think that's everything.
Oh, good.
So yeah, so I actually, and please put your hands up. I'm going to start calling on. Usually it takes a few minutes for people to start popping on. I'm going to share a real quick one because I've only heard this one other time. Of course, I'm not on every single call, so I don't know if this has been brought up, but I have had a thyroid condition where the thyroid hormone was a little low. And when I started with LifeWave, I was taking 90 milligrams of a natural supplement, natural hormone replacement. After 2 years, okay, this goes back to Sunshower Rose talking about consistency and time, because her story was about 2 years and her sense of smell came back. So after 2 years, my need for hormone went down from 90 to 60. Now I'm 4 years in, and you guys, it is like dropping. I just had blood work. I'm going to have to check. I may very soon be off. I have goosebumps, right? I may be off this hormone. And you're told you're going to be on it the rest of your life. And I am now down to like 45, from 60 to 45. So again, I've been with LifeWave 4+ years. And so hang in there. Amazing things keep happening. So that's my share. Good morning, Anne and John. Let's have Anne go first and then John. You need to unmute, Anne. I'm sorry, you're still there.
There.
Okay,
Good morning.
good
I have
morning.
I started Lifeway August the 13th of this year. At that time, I could barely move. I was in excruciating pain. My energy level was so low that I sat and watched TV or played games on my phone probably 9/10 of my day. I'd get up and do a few things and then I was back down again. I had pain that started in my back and went down to my leg. I had pain of my discs were compressed. I had pain of I'm trying to think of the way to say it.
What's
It's
that?
from the bone degeneration, joint
Okay.
degeneration.
Mhm.
I have mental issues, health issues. I could not stand to be around people. I wanted to stay in the house all the time. Anybody came over after 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, please, please go away, go away, go away. uh, Time I would spend with people that I had to, when I came back home, I would be exhausted. I could not do anything. I had brain fog, couldn't think clearly, could not. I would stand up from my chair and forget why I stood up. I didn't even make it to the room I was going to. So it was pretty bad. It was kind of scary. I thought my time was coming. And I'm 65 years old. I should not have felt like I was 105, but I did. So I started X39 in August. The only pain I have in my back now is if I overdo. It gets a bit of an achiness, not that excruciating pain. My brain fog has lifted. I'm actually enjoying being around people again. I don't get exhausted from being around people. I do, I go to craft fair events. I do a lot of baking, and that's what I sell at them. And I have been able to go further than what I was doing before. I do new recipes. I just, it's just amazing. And because of every symptom I had has been either wiped out or greatly improved. My husband, who has had blood issues 2 years ago, it started, and then he had issues with his prostate. He went through the treatments, which just about destroyed him. And I had asked him if he wanted to start the X39. He said no, because he wasn't sure that it would, if it would mess with his medications, harm his issues. His kidney was not working well. He had been where they replace your blood so that his kidney could at least get cleaned out. He was doing that 3 times a week. Now, just about a month ago, he said he saw such a drastic improvement in me. He said, when are you going to patch me up? And so I patched him up. He had, from the medications he was on, he didn't have a whole lot of energy. He'd nap anywhere from half an hour to 3 hours during the daytime and sleep 10 hours at night, and he'd be exhausted. Now he goes outside to our barn. He works in his workshop. He gets things done. He doesn't come back in and nap during the day. And so it's already increased his energy. And we're anxious to see, maybe a year from now, what his blood work looks like, if his kidney function has improved. But I am so excited to be here. I can't wait to sign up my first person, because I feel like that everyone should have this Everyone should feel as good or not, if not better than me.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Anne. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful share. And I agree. Sometimes, you know, most of the time we are our own story. Sometimes we share someone else's story. But it's stories sell. Okay. So you have a beautiful testimonial and you're coming from your heart, and you and your husband we're so happy to have you on our team. This is just amazing. When you were sharing, I thought one hot mess. I think someone was sharing like you have this and this and this, like one hot mess. And now look at you, you're like a transformed person. So thank you so much, Anne. And I'm going to share now one other little housekeeping thing I didn't share. And the reason I let Anne share for a fairly long time is because I didn't see any other hands except John. But in general, we do keep our shares brief. Be bold, be brave, be brief, right? That's our motto here, because normally we have lots and lots of people that want to share. And since there was no one else except John, I said, let's just hear your wonderful story. In general, though, we try to keep it less than a minute with our shares, and that's good for practice when we're speaking to new prospects. It's like just get our stories down, like a quick little vignette. All right, we have John and then Jerry. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle, and very inspiring. Even though you did share for quite a while there, that was good. That was really good. So thank you. And Michelle, your story is great too, and it leads into mine. Is that I've got two quick stories. I'll try to make them quick. Is that it's the mental part of what the X39 has done for me. It's amazing. I've been on it for 1 year. And my mental clarity, it just feels like, the clouds have opened up and the sky is bright and shiny. And it all leads to lifestyle medicine for me is what it is. It's Michelle, when you said, you want to get off your medications, that's fabulous, because I think that healing from within, and that's what the X39 has done for me. And so I'm going to give you a shameless plug. I've got an organic popcorn business that I am now thinking of. Well, I'm getting closer and closer to making it a national brand, just because my mental clarity has gotten to a point where I can think these things out very nicely, whereas it's pretty foggy and pretty unclear at one time. That's one story. Another story is this morning I was walking our dogs, and I have one 8-year-old and a 14-year-old golden retriever, and my 8-year-old chases squirrels like crazy. I just let him off leash in the park and they just go crazy. He goes crazy. My 14-year-old golden retriever, I repurposed my X39 into his collar, and he was trying to chase squirrels. He wobbles and moves a little shakily. So, but he was doing that this morning. He just looks like he feels better every day. It's crazy. And then the last story I will tell is I just got a text message from somebody I met, introduced him to the X39, to the patches. And he just said, and I want him to get on the call today. And he says, just tell them, he texted me, just tell them that you have the gratitude of a lot of people. His life has been amazing. And he just keeps texting me every week and letting me know his progress. So those are my stories.
How beautiful to touch lives like that every day. Right, John?
Yeah.
Thank you. I love your shares. Thank you so much, John. You're looking great.
Yeah.
And that's awesome about your popcorn business. Yay, you'll have to keep us posted.
Sure. Thanks.
Okay, Jerry, and please keep your hand up, everybody. Jerry and then Adele. All right.
Good morning, Michelle. Thank you.
Hi.
Gregory. Hello. I'm going to tell an old one and a new one. One is, I know many of you have heard me speak about my 96-year-old father, who will be 97. And he did something he shouldn't have, which, after I found out about it, my brother didn't tell me because he said, Jerry will yell. But he got up at night and didn't turn the lights on and fell. And at 97 years old, you would have expected the worst. And he hurt his knee, he hit his head. He was pretty banged up, and he went right away and put the X39 on his head, on his knee, and went back to bed. And he was walking in the morning, and in about the end of the day, he was feeling fine. And so that is a false story for a 96-year-old. One of mine is that I looked like I was about 100 years old when I wanted to get down on the floor. If I dropped something out in public, I was really embarrassed. I could not get up or down. and I needed a table. And for going towards your story, Michelle, it's the length of you. This is a lifestyle. You need to keep going and keep going. I've been on the patches 2.5 years now. And as I'm up and down, I'm painting my baseboards on my knees. I don't have that pain and I'm not embarrassed anymore, so I can get down. And real quick, since I'll follow John with the dog story, since there's only 2 more hands, one of my brand partners had a puppy that was trampled by the horse they had by accident. And it always limped. It was at the vets. They really couldn't do anything. So it grew up limping and in pain. And after 2 days of repurposing her patch, she sent me a video of this dog who was 6.5 years old running around in her yard.
Oh, Jerry, that just brings tears to my eyes. Oh my gosh, thank you.
No,
That's a beautiful.
have a nice day.
beautiful
Thank
story.
you.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Love your guys' stories. Thank you. See, our stories are changing lives, and we think of someone when we hear these stories, and oh yeah, I heard that story on my Monday morning miracle call, and we just keep spreading this wave of love and light therapy all over the world. So Adele, and then Nancy, Megan, and then Sunshower. You need to unmute, Adele.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
I said, thanks, Michelle. And Anne, your story is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I have a friend who lives in Europe, and she sent me something last week that I've just got to share. I'm going to really watch my wording because it would be easy for me to mess up. But the optic nerve, I think I'm allowed to say that.
Yep.
Optic nerve damage in her eyes. In February, started using X39 and sent me a picture with a lot of red on the picture. And in last week on the 28th, had another picture done, and it's less than half what it was before. And the doctor was very surprised, and he said, this is optic nerve damage. It can't be fixed. So
we love those stories, Adele.
I know. So beautiful experience with her. She loves the patches, obviously, but kind of cool. Just X39 was all she was wearing.
Just X39 on the back of the neck.
Yes. And actually she had just started the week before carnosine for the condition I had, cloudiness in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't think it was that. We think it was the X39 because she hadn't used it long enough.
That's right.
So anyway, very exciting.
I love that. I think Robin was the one that said something, right, Gregory? Like, oh, can't? I'm sorry, that's not part of my world. That's not
I say
my reality. If you have a doctor,
with all due respect, doctor, in your world it's not possible, but in my world it is.
Oh, thank you, Robin. That's perfect. I want those words. Yay! Someone put that in the chat. I love that. With all due respect, doctor. Yay. All right, Nancy, then Megan, Sunshower, and Barbara.
Well, I just have a real quick one. I was talking to a lady last night who I'd shared the patches with about a month ago. And so she's been doing the X39. And we were talking last night. She said, it's just remarkable. It's been years since I've gotten a good night's sleep. And she said, this very recently, she has been sleeping deeper and longer than she has for over 6 years. And she was just thrilled. And so anyway, I thought that was really great because there's so many people who are having trouble with that. And it's a really great thing to be able to get a good night's sleep.
And Nancy, is that just X39?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sleep is the foundation. David Schmidt talks about that too. Thank you for that wonderful share. All right, Megan, Sunshower, and Barbara. Okay, Megan, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. I have a quick story about 2 sisters that there's something going around in the little town that I do my my craft show in every month, and both of the sisters had it and they were really struggling mainly with the cough, and so I gave them the glutathione patch and told them to put it right there on the notch of their neck. And the one sister, like, she didn't cough at all. And then, so she's like, I'm giving you this patch because, like, the other sister, her cough was just like not going away. So, she ended up giving it to her sister, and now her sister's cough has settled down. And also, the second sister that um she gave the patch to, I also gave her an Eon patch because she was just really struggling with like some like being very nervous about some things that were going on. And I gave her the Eon patch. She put it on like probably like mid-afternoon, and then went home and like went to bed. And she woke up the next day and told her sister, she's like, that is the best sleep that I have had, and I don't remember how long. And so like I'm just like super excited for them because now they're all excited about the patches. So I just needed to share that with y'all.
Thank you for sharing. I love it. Beautiful shares this morning, you guys. And we have quite a few hands up now. I think after this, after the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that have hands up, we will not take any more because we're getting close. So we have Sunshower now. Go ahead, Sunshower.
Morning, Michelle. Morning, everybody. Isn't this miracle call fabulous? I always learn so much, and I've been hanging out with the Life Wave tribe for about 3 years now. It's just amazing. I want to reiterate what Michelle referred to with I was born without the ability to smell. You know, it had nothing to do with that C word that everybody had for a while. No, it was just I never could smell. Now I can smell. That is the X39. Took 2 years. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
not I was expecting. Right now I'm working on a couple things. One is I'm pretty sure that I have a form of, oh dear, what would I call this one? When you're around secondhand smoke for a long, long time and you cough a little. Yeah, I have that. And it's like, well, how do I handle this? So now I'm wearing energy enhancers. And you know, it doesn't have to be all day long with energy enhancers or with our Ice Wave, you know. But I can sort of tell when it's time to take the energy enhancers off. And when, for this particular thing, I just looked it up again. I have it over here. It's interesting. You put them here and here instead of here and here or under your feet just for energy. But for the cough thing, it's here and here. And from what I'm looking at on my picture over here, it's called Kidney 27. Well, maybe somebody can help me with whatever that point really is. But it does help. And I just wanted you to know that. I could go on and on, you guys, but there's a lot of hands up. Thank you so much for hosting us, Michelle. You're great.
Thank you, dear Sunshower. Yeah. Are you indicating it's like right under the clavicle, but closer to the midline?
Correct.
Okay.
Right,
We'll have to look that one up.
Right.
Kidney 27, you're pretty sure.
Mine says Kidney 27 here. Seems weird. It should say lung something, right?
Lung something, because it's helping your cough. Thank you.
Yeah, if somebody knows, let me know.
Thank you, Sunshower. Okay, Barbara, then the Hudson, whoever, Barbara Janet. Okay, Barbara Larrabee, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm going to share 2 things because Robin put a note in the chat. She'd like me to also share my kidney story. But first, I'd like to tell you about one of my customers. And I had talked to her a couple of weeks ago, you know, just kind of a check-in call. She's been with me for about 11 months doing X39, X49, and glutathione. She's nearly 80. She takes really good care of herself, very energetic. But she wanted this for longevity as well as she had a lot of pain in her hip. And she was telling me that her pain had not really subsided as much as she wanted. So I told her, I said, well, you've got those 3 patches. Why don't you do what Dr. Jeff does and make a triangle around the pain area, just patch directly at your hip. And so she called me back a couple nights ago and she told me that her pain has greatly diminished. She is loving doing this little triangle technique. And then she told me another story. She said that 30 years ago, she had had a flu shot that caused the right side of her face to droop. And she'd had her eyelids fixed, so that wasn't an issue, but there was still an issue with the side of her mouth. And she was doing affirmations in the mirror one day this week and realized this is kind of like something totally unexpected that she hadn't been looking for, but she realized that her mouth is moving perfectly now. So anyway, after 30 years, that has gone away. And then real quick, my own kidney story is that when LifeWave came to me, I had learned a couple months prior that I was in kidney failure and well on the way to other treatment. And so I started with X39, but after 5 weeks, I did add a lot of the other patches. I was just falling in love with everything. And the good news is that it took 14 months, but every time I went to the doctor, my kidney function had improved. And finally, I hit that range where my kidneys are perfectly normal. So there is great hope and help here. And, I just want to reinforce what was said earlier is that the doctors may have one story, but we have another one.
We have another. I love
I'm
it. Thank you.
So very grateful.
I'm glad to hear your kidney story again, Barbara, because I have a couple people that I would like to share that with.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. All right. We have Bob and Janet, then Robin, then Heidi, and that'll bring us right to the end of the call, except for announcements from Robin and Gregory. So go ahead, Bob and Janet. Hi.
Hi, I have a client who's been on the patches about 4 months, and I've been really having a hard time getting him to really say what things are better, just kind of. So we had a discussion one day, and after I pulled it out of him, he's like, "Well, the pain down my back into my leg is gone. Is that the patch?" I'm like, "Yeah." and I came off my blood pressure medicine. I said, "Did you do anything different besides the patch?" He's like, "No." I said, "Well, we do have testimonials of people who have come off their blood pressure medicine." So yeah, he's very excited that he's had those changes, and we are too for him.
Thank you, Janet. Could that be the patch? Thank you. All right. Now, Robin and then Heidi, and then we'll turn it over to Robin and Gregory.
Good morning.
Hi, Robin.
I just wanted to share with you this. I'm a grandma, and I take care of all my grandbabies all throughout the week. And last week we had a sickness that everybody was starting to get, especially one of the mothers who was throwing up and running a fever and, having the body aches and everything. And on Saturday, I started feeling the same way. And I texted my BFF, Diane Hovarth, who brought me into this. And she said, "Well, patch up." And I was like, "Ooh, for this sickness?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "Let me look it up." So she looked it up, and we got carnosine and glutathione, and I already had on my X39 and X49. And I can't remember if she had me put anything else on, but within an hour or so, all of the symptoms had gone away enough to where I was like, "Oh, it's working." And by evening, I was great. And in the morning, nothing. I felt fine. So that was awesome.
Catching it early is a big part too. That's wonderful.
Right,
Thank you,
right.
Robin. And
Thank
also
you.
Consistent use, right? Because
Of course.
our immune systems are strengthened, all of our body systems, all of our organs are stronger when we use the X39 every day, along with the other patches as well. So thank you. Thank you, Robin. Okay, Heidi, and then we'll turn it over.
Good morning, Michelle. Can you hear me okay? I'm using new headphones and a
Yes,
mouthpiece.
can hear you great.
Excellent. I'm on a Wi-Fi public connection. I wanted to share a kind of pilgrimage I've been experiencing with one of the support patches that I experienced for the first time after a booth showing in Ogden, Utah, Midge Woods. She's in Pocatello, Idaho, where I used to live. She gave me a Nirvana patch. So I have been wearing Nirvana consistently since I purchased my own first sleeve in December of 2022. and have been consistently repurposing those. I actually am successfully glad to say today that it has been 10 years this week since I was released from a mental institution. And I went to the very first home yesterday that I stayed at, having been released from that institution in Blackfoot, Idaho for 3 months for delusional ideation. And that was just, I was sleep deprived. I was a mother of 7. I'd had a surgery 5 months before. I was breastfeeding full time, and I was not getting sleep. So having been on X39 from February of 2022 until December, and then exclusively using Nirvana, I have no more what I call reactive triggers, and from any of the locations that I've been to in the last 24 hours. And I apologize, there's a fire truck going past me without its siren on, but it's very noisy. So I just want you to know that the support patches are specific to the frequency and brain health and mental traumas of all variations. I lost my children and was in that mental institution, and I still haven't got my kids back. So being 10 years without being in close proximity to my 4 children, with my youngest being at the time 1 year old, the patches work, and they definitely work as support patches.
That's some pretty extreme trauma. And that's quite a story, Heidi. And we send you our love and our prayers for reconciliation and healing. And wow, you guys, I know that many of you have experienced not just the physical, but the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects, the consciousness shifting, the sense of well-being. I mean, it cannot be overstated. We have such a beautiful gift here, and we just share it with the world. So thank you all for your beautiful shares today. There's a lot going on in the chat, so I haven't been able to look at it because as host, but I'm going to see if I can copy the chat. Someone told me that you can do that, so I'm going to see if I can copy. But I'm going to turn it over to Gregory, and we're going to talk about what's happening this evening.
Well, thank you, Michelle. As always, you do a wonderful job, and we love our Monday morning miracle calls, don't we? And I'm going to turn it over to Robin.
Okay. Well, again, thank you, Michelle. Wonderful. Thank you all for sharing your stories. And Anne, your life changed. I mean, and yes, it was a little longer than usual, but we're so glad to hear the details for you and your husband. And what Barbara shared about the kidney, it's like everything gets better. And another miracle story I just want to share is that I remember several years ago hearing about someone whose nephrologist said, "I've never done this before, but I'm taking you from 3 times a week to once a week on dialysis." And then Janet's team, there was someone 83 years old that actually went off dialysis. And doctors, in all due respect, doctor, in your world, it's not possible, but in our world it is. And so, the SP6 is amazing for many different organs. And we have a family member who's been suffering with a liver challenge, and they didn't think she'd make it through the day on Thanksgiving Day. And it was a rough day for our family. And Gregory and I went in and patched her, and the doctor said she's had a miraculous turnaround and she's now home. And we're putting the SP6 on top of her foot on one of the liver meridians. So there's just amazing stories that we get to share and help people have quality of life in ways that they haven't. So tonight we get to celebrate new executive directors, Julie and Knut Dybendal, and their upline, who has become a senior presidential, Janet Kiefer. So we have an exciting call tonight, and there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we'll be sharing over time. So all good. And tomorrow night we have Anne.
Also tonight, Robin, we have chapter 4.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Chapter 4 in John Maxwell's book. And someone just sent me a message, and I want to make sure I see that because, okay. Let's see. So we have chapter 4 tonight, and I hope you guys are enjoying that.
Sunshower and Ravel are going to be covering leadership.
talk on leadership tonight. So that'll be, and it's been great having you guys share together. So much goodness going on. And I just want to, you know, again, how Gregory started the call. It's fun to get a pay raise when there's a promotion. And those of you that took the time to really prepare ahead of time, look at that. Janet's been working on this for months, knowing it was coming, preparing her team, and it got her over the line for SPD. So you just, I mean, it's a huge opportunity. So just pay attention to that, and planning does work. And tomorrow night we have Ann Moreau on our Testimonial Tuesday call, and your stories. We love hearing your stories. And so Ann, we'd love you to share tomorrow night also. And I'm happy to coach you and help you, you know, tighten it up a bit. You're new, but we loved hearing it. And the fact that your life is dramatically changed is an amazing testimony for everybody, that there's hope for the future. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, anything else, honey?
No, I think that covers it. And what a great call. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Thanks, Michelle. Wonderful job as always. And so if everyone would like to unmute and bid your farewell today, we'll talk to you on the call tonight.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
Good job, Bye, everybody.
Thank
Have
you.
a fabulous week.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Have a great day.
Everybody,
Without you guys.
Everyone.
love to everybody.
Thank
See you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Super duper job, Michelle.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
So
Wonderful.
loving.
Great stories.
And Heidi, thanks for being so honest.
Awesome
Keep on
job.
patching, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
All I have.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Bye-bye.
Bye.